I just wanted to make this video and wish everyone a happy Independence Day. But I've also wanted to talk about some things I have noticed with the 4th in the country as well. So let me start out by saying Happy Independence Day to everyone here in the United States and to all of those outside its borders who love liberty and freedom. I hope that all of you are having a great Independence Day. With this being the 4th of July, I want to talk about what I have noticed with this country and the 4th. I feel what I am about to say needs to be said. I am sorry if for some it is a downer on a day people want to be having a good time on and forgetting their troubles. My intent isn't for this video to do that. I want all of you to know this. But if it does have this effect, it is because the things that are true tend to do that to a person. Today in the 21st century, for most Americans, what we are celebrating and why we are has been lost. I think this is especially true for us as a nation looking back into the recent past. Instead of celebrating the birth of our nation, most see the 4th of July as a day that they don't have to go to work. This needs to change. What we need to do is get back to the day being a celebration of the nation's birth, the inalienable rights and freedoms in this country, and our being Americans. None of these things are bad things, and we shouldn't feel guilty for any of them. 243 years ago today, the Founding Fathers of the United States declared their independence and the independence of the 13 original colonies from the Crown and British rule. On that day, they gave birth to our nation. After years of the colonists' voices being ignored by both Parliament and King George III, they had had enough. They took the only option that was left to them and broke away from England and the British Empire. After a long and bloody war of attrition, they had won their freedom and the freedom for all living in the then fledgling United States of America. They won it for the future generations to come. They won it for those whose families immigrated here for a better life, such as those who came here in the early part of the 20th century through Ellis Island. They did it for all Americans. Sadly, almost 2.5 centuries later, we seem to have forgotten and take for granted what they did for all of us. The Founding Fathers, with the path they took in declaring independence, created what is arguably the best and freest nation this world has ever seen. Yet we take this for granted and have been for some time. On top of this, as a society, we are being conditioned to believe that the Founding Fathers, the things they did in forging this nation, and our being Americans are all bad things we should feel guilty for by the left. This is while they are telling us that we have no culture and should just let anyone and everyone who wants to cross the border in because of the very things our culture and what it means to be an American has created in this country. All of this needs to stop. Because of these things, we have forgotten where we have come from as a nation, who we are as a culture and society, that we should be proud of them, and for our being Americans. The left, in particular the globalist, corporatist, cultural Marxist, far left and leftists, the ones who attack everything we are as a nation, they have been chipping away at them for years. They are the ones who are behind our losing who we are as a nation and people. The things that they want go against everything that this country is supposed to stand for, and often does, along with everything it means to be an American, which is why they are doing it. In my 44 years on this planet, we have seen an extended period where the left has whittled away at the things that make us who we are as a nation and culture. It has been going on since Clinton took office. Bill, not Hillary. Thank God she hasn't managed to slime her way into the Oval Office. During Bill Clinton's presidency, we were told by him and other Democrats that we need to get over ourselves and our pride in being Americans because our time was over as being the economic and manufacturing leader of the world. We were also being told at the same time we need to start looking at becoming part of a global society as well. This was taking place while the Clintons and Democrats were selling us and our manufacturing out to the Chinese. China would not be where it is today if it wasn't for their selling us out to them while we allowed Clinton and his cohorts to weaken who we are as Americans in order to do so. This was just the start of things to come. Even with the election of George W. Bush, it continued. With him, we saw the erosion of our freedoms and liberties for the benefits of what we now know as the deep state and our out-of-control anti-American intelligence agencies, which is something they were all behind happening and used September 11th to bring it about. The Patriot Act was sitting on a shelf waiting for a crisis or some other situation that could be manipulated to justify its enactment as law. Traditionally, these agencies and groups had allegiances to themselves, or at least that is what we thought. The thing is, though, as we have seen since the election of Trump, they just happen to be in bed with Democrats and the left. It looks like it has been that way for quite some time. Meaning, in large part, this happening was the direct result of elements of the left. Then there was the Obama presidency. His attacks and those from Democrats against everything it means to be an American and this country were far more aggressive and in your face than the Clintons. We were told the values we hold as Americans were wrong ones to hold, that we must change them for fringe and small groups such as the LGBTQ, AEIOU, and sometimes Y crowd. We must do it for the illegals that have shown a complete lack of respect for this country because they are the victims here, not Americans with their brazenly violating us and our country. Not to mention, we had to do it for a particular religion that has led to people driving trucks of peace into crowds of innocent people. Oh, and definitely can't leave out that we had to do it because of our being part of a global community, like it was said with Clinton. But I have to say my favorite of the Obama attacks on this country or what it means to be an American has to be his claims that business owners did not create their businesses and therefore cannot take credit for their successes as a result. According to him, it was the people they employ that actually did those things, and they deserve all the credit for their success and the success of the business. This is when there would be no business or direction for it without those who created and have guided them. This was an attack on one of the fundamental beliefs of the United States and of being an American. It was done in the name of globalism and corporatism on behalf of the elites within the left. The belief that you can be born here or come here, have absolutely nothing to your name, start out with nothing, create a business, and through your hard work become a success is part of our culture and what it means to be an American. Small business is by far the largest employer in this country and is a threat to corporatism and globalism in this technological and digital age we live in. The globalist left needs to break our entrepreneurial spirit and belief in this type of success as a result. They cannot have people disrupting their plans of what they are doing and are trying to sell to everyone as a global utopia for all. One that so happens will have large corporations they control and or benefit financially from producing the products we all consume. We have witnessed what they are doing continue through till today. It did not stop when Obama left office. They are attacking everything this country is supposed to stand for, what it means to be an American, and now are very sovereignty openly, which has only increased since the run-up to the 2016 presidential election. Since Trump, especially recently, they have actually kicked things into overdrive, and we are well over a year away from the 2020 presidential election. Things are only going to get worse from here, as they have been. We need to realize this, as we also need to realize that their being able to do it is our own faults. The whole reason why they have been able to get away with it is because, with the left's help, we have forgotten who we are, where we came from, what it means to be an American, and that we should be proud to be one. We allowed that to happen, too. We need to put a stop to them and what they're doing. We need to remember who we are as a nation and society. We have to remember what it means to be an American. We have to get back to what our values are and should be as part of doing this. The point of celebrating Independence Day is to celebrate not only the birth of this nation, but also what it means to be an American and our values as such. With our losing that, we honestly have nothing to celebrate and should not be doing so. It is becoming just another day, be it one that a lot of Americans do not have to work, and it shouldn't be. My point here being, we need to be even more vigilant than ever. If not, we are going to lose who we are as Americans. Once we do, our nation won't be far behind us. I, for one, do not want to see this happen. I am sure there are quite a few of you out there who do not want to see it either. Do not allow what they are doing to discourage you. Because like the Founding Fathers, we are in a war of attrition against authoritarians who want to take our liberty and freedom away from us. Now that I've said all this, if you've made it this far, even if you want to kill me for ruining your Independence Day with what I've said here, I truly hope that you do have a great one. Now get back to your friends and family, take the day off, enjoy yourselves, because tomorrow is another day and we haven't won the war yet. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.